A trail in the margins. I stepped out of the rain and into a shadowy repository of knowledge. Vaulted ceilings and high galleries gave the place the feel of a church, and the smell of dried pages and leather covers perfumed the air like incense. Figures moved among the hardwood tables, their heads bowed at green-shaded lamps as their fingers whispered over pages and their pens scrawled in notebooks. Thunder growled in the heavens hard enough to rattle the windows in their casements, but no one in the Miskatonic library so much as looked up. They were safe, buried among the forgotten tomes of yesteryear, all of them on their own silent quests as they pursued secret truths and theses that nobody but them understood. I paused just long enough to shake off my hat and my gabardine, sending a spray of water toward the drains in the foyer. As another peal of thunder growled through the sky, chasing an errant bolt of lightning that splashed momentary brightness through the windows, I started walking. I crossed the tiled expanse at the front desk and turned toward the reference section. I picked my way through the stacks until I came to the private study rooms at the rear of the place. Room D was the only one with a light shining through the windows, and when I glanced in, I saw Archie bent over a pile of books, his index finger running over the words in one of them, and his other hand transcribing the words onto a tablet of yellow legal paper. I opened the door and stepped inside. "This had better be worth getting my shoes wet, Archibald," I said, not bothering to hide the irritation in my voice. Archie jumped, nearly spilling the pile of books at his elbow. He scowled at me and fixed his spectacles as he tried to get back some of his dignity. "Civilized people knock before barging in on somebody, Jack," Archie said. "If you wanted somebody civilized, then you should have called your friend over in the anthropology department," I said. "You called me, so I'm assuming it's serious." "Yes, it's serious," Archie said, gesturing at the seat across the table from him. "I learned my lesson last time. I wouldn't have called you if I didn't think I really had something." "All right," I said, sliding off my coat and hanging it up on the wall hook. I brushed my fingertips over the butt of the Colt beneath my left arm before I pulled out the chair and sat down. "Lay it on me. What have you found?" "Have I ever told you about a book titled Of Evil Sorceries Done in New England of Daemons in No Human Shape?" Archie asked. "You'd think I'd remember a mouthful like that," I replied. "You could just say no, Jack," Archie said, sighing as he flipped some pages on his tablet. "Anyway, to fill you in, the book was a handwritten tome that appeared somewhere between 1683 and 1720. It details a variety of spells and rituals that were, supposedly, practiced in and around Salem, as well as other communities during America's witch madness." "I thought you said Salem was a hoax," I asked, folding my arms and leaning back in my chair. "Mass hysteria, mold in the bread, contamination in the water, and the like." "So you do pay attention when I'm talking," Archie said, readjusting his glasses again. "And largely, you're correct. The events surrounding the hangings are largely explicable through a combination of limited, insular madness combined with greed, jealousy, and other emotions that led the community to turn on itself when the opportunity presented. Largely doesn't mean completely, though, and there are still one or two genuine mysteries that have yet to be solved all these years after the fact." "And this book you're talking about is one of those?" I asked. "It is indeed," Archie said, closing the book and holding it up for me to see the cover. I read it and frowned. "What's that?" I asked. "A link in the chain," Archie said, tapping his legal pad meaningfully. "This book is by A.R. Waite, who claims to have examined the original manuscript. but I've been breaking down everything from the language contained in it to the penmanship displayed in the photographs, and I believe that what Waite actually saw was either a very clever forgery or a copy of the original that had been changed ever so slightly by the person who made it. "So you found the fraudster," I said, fishing out my cigarettes and shaking one from the pack. "You called me all the way down here for that?" "Of course not," Archie said, cutting me a sharp look. I rolled my eyes and slid my smoke back into the pack, then laid the pack down on the table. But reading through Waite's book, along with a handful of other treatises on the history of this grimoire, has given me some clues I want to look into. "How bad do you think this could get?" I asked. "Worse than Louisiana," Archie said, blowing out a breath. "Worse than Red Hook?" I asked. "Christ almighty, I hope not," Archie said, reflexively crossing himself when he said it. "My best guess is it won't escalate to that level. Then again, I didn't think Red Hook would be as bad as it was either." "Usual fees?" I asked. "Of course," Archie said, taking off his glasses and rubbing a cleaning cloth over them. "When do we start?" I asked. "I need to meet with the dean and get his signature on everything," Archie said, sighing. "I'll start making arrangements tomorrow. We'll likely depart on Friday." "All right," I said, pushing back from the chair. "I'll clear my schedule. Make sure I don't have anything outstanding when we leave." "I appreciate this, Jack," Archie said as I slid back into my coat. "Sure," I told him, cramming my hat back on my head. "For once, let's just find the dusty old book, turn it over to the university, and call it a day, huh?" Thank you for staying to the end of this story. A Trail in the Margins is the opening fiction for the TTRPG supplement 100 Books to Find in the Miskatonic Library that aren't in the restricted section, meant for use with Call of Cthulhu. The supplement can be found in the video description below if you want to grab yourself a copy. But you should also like, subscribe, and share the video around because it is very possible that the tale of our adventurers may have further installments coming down the line, and I wouldn't want you to miss them.